Hello everyone, I'm Alex from alexlancer.com, and this is the second part of our VueJS and CodeIgniter 4 tutorial. So in this part, actually in previous part we left off where we just installed our CodeIgniter 4 RESTapi server from the GitHub, and we also installed a completely fresh VueJS installation. So now let's continue by, first of all, what I want to do is I want to add here a .env file that where we will store some of the constants that we will be using. So the first one is actually our view app name. Yeah, we could store this wherever we wanted to, but I just decided to put it here. So this will be our CI view blog, let's say. Now, another one is view app client ID. And as we said in the first part, it will be test client. So just copy paste the second line and let's make it a client secret, and this will be test secret. Okay, so that's all we need for our .env file. Let's close it now, and let me check my notes. So once we create our env files, let's go actually and create our routes. So our Routes.js file that we will put it inside of our src folder. So let's name it Routes.js. And so what we need here, we will need to import Vue, of course, from Vue. Next, we will import the router itself, so it will be router from VueRouter. And actually we will need some components here, but let's first create these components. We will create them. Also, let's throw them just inside our source folder. So this will be our, for sure we'll have a signin.vue component. Then we will have a signup component. Another component that I also would like to have is our admin, actually our dashboard, where we will post all of our posts. So it will be admin.view, and our single post component that let's name it just a post. So it will be post.view. So we will go through each of these components during this tutorial. So another thing, actually, now that we have these components added, we can start and import them here. So first of all, in this part of the video, I would like to focus on our sign in and sign up functionalities. So let's go here and add our sign in component from .signin. Again, the same will go for our sign up, and let's not import any other components. We will be adding them step by step. So we will say view use our router that we have imported on this line number 2, and now let's define our routes. So we have router, we will have routes, inside the square brackets, inside here we will store each of them. So we have our mode that we have to set it up as a history mode so that we don't have that hash sign in our URLs. And yeah, let's actually export default and router. Okay, so back to our routes. So inside of here, let's create our first object that will be a path sign in. So this will be our sign in route. We will use the component sign in, and let's also give it a name, also sign in. So I believe we don't need these quotes on the component, and we can leave it like that. Yeah, so let's copy this and add it exactly below to create the same thing for our sign up, like that. And yeah, of course, at the very top I will add our home component, and yeah, therefore we will have to import admin from ./admin, because this is our home component. We will add it here. So path / this is how we define the home route. Then we will define our component for this route, which will be admin, and name, let's say home. That would make sense. So what else we need? I think we are fine on our routes for now. So let's go to our app view, to our main component, and let's remove these lines here. So inside of our root div, so here we will have a navbar, and also let's create we will be using Bootstrap 4 CSS framework for obvious reasons. So let's say class container, and inside this class container let's add our router view. So the router view is used by VueRouter. This is where all the components that will be inside of the route view, the components that are being used inside our routes that we just defined, this is where they will be rendered. So one more thing, so the navbar, let's make it up nav. So we will create a custom component for that. And actually, yeah, let's create, so we have these components here. Components is too long to write it, so I will delete it for now from this project. And I would like to create a new folder and name it CMPs. So inside of our CMPs folder, let's create a new file named nav.view. So inside of our nav.view, what we will need to do is we'll have to go to let's go BS4 navbar, Google for that. Let's go navbar bootstrap. Let's grab the very first one. And before we paste it, of course, let's create a template. Actually, I have a shortcut here supported by VS Code. So guys, in case you don't see all the all the syntax highlighting, etc., the way I see it, you will have to install a Vue extension. I don't remember the name, but let me check what I already have. So it is just the Vue by JC Buizon. So this is the extension that I have installed. Oh, and also I see the Vue tooling by PineWoo. So these are the two extensions that I'm using, and they give me access to all of these shortcuts and snippets. So let's say Vue, throw this navbar inside, and so let's see what we have here. We have our navbar, and that will be, so first of all, let's make this, let's make a router link and router link. So this we will name as let's give it a brand name. Of course, here below in our export default, we'll have to define our data. And in our data, we will use now our .env file. So how we use it? We say that brand equals to process env, and now we have our Vue app. What was the name? App name. So this is how we define it. So the only thing I want to change also here in our router link. So because I want to make this router link dynamic, by dynamic what I mean, so when we will be logged in, I want the brand name whenever we click on it. So if we are logged in, this should redirect us to the dashboard, to the home page. But if we are not logged in, I want the brand destination to be a sign-in form. So to do that, let's say that we will be expecting for this nav component to get some props. So these props will be actually not Vue. Let's say logged in. So from our app.vue file, where we will load this nav component, we will send a logged in state that we will later on we will get this logged in state from the storage. So let's say if logged in, then the route will be home, and if not logged in, it will be sign in. So this should do the trick really easy. Now we have another section below. So we will also by either the user is logged in or not, we will define which menu items to show. So in case the user is not logged in, and let's start with that. So let's go here to our UL, and let's say if not logged in. Also guys, whenever I press Control Save, Control S, all of the formatting gets fixed by the prettier extension. So it has this awesome option that whenever you click, you don't have to press anything. Just whenever you save your document, it gets it does all the all the cleaning for you. So it even changes the quotes for you. For instance, if you see here, if I will put single quotes, once I click save, it changes them to the double quotes. I don't know, I like it. I didn't know this extension. So we've not logged in. Now, instead of using our list items, we will be using router links. But because we will have 4 same router links, so one will be, we will have a sign-in link, sign-up link, we will have the admin link or the home link, and we will also have a logout link. So actually it is better to create some sort of a component for that also. So to create a component, let's name it menu link, and to this component we will pass the path, and we will pass also then, let's say, the text that will be enclosed, the link text, the actual link text. So we'll have text equals, so this is this will be our sign in path. So the text also will be sign in. Okay, and now we can just copy it and say this will be our sign up. So let me remove this, and yeah, a lot of this we don't need it at all. We don't need this form that I grabbed from the example on Bootstrap 4 page. So we will have either this UL, or we will start a new unordered list and say this v-else. So if user is logged in, then the links will be then we will have the home page. Let's say home, let's say admin, whatever. But for our logout button, we'll actually, let's leave it like that. And let's just say that on click, prevent the default behavior and run the logout method. And of course, let's go here below and add methods. Why it's so methods. Okay, so here was missing a comma after props. Now we have methods, logout, and for now let's just make console log logged out. We will deal with the functionality of logout a little bit later. So now we have to create our menu link component. Let's put it also in our components CMPs folder. So let's say new file, yeah, menu link.view. Let's create a basic template here, and actually the only thing we will have, okay, not the only, of course we are getting our props that we have to define. So we said that we have 2 props. The one is path, and the second one is text. So up here in our template, now we will say our router link that will have a class. Let me check what we had there. So I will take this just as a reference. So we have our class name nav item, and I will put it here, nav item, and inside we have our href tag that we still can put it here and say class not item but class link. Nav link. Okay, so here we will display the text that we pass through our properties. This will be our text, and inside of our router link, of course, we have to add to and the path. And because we are using router link out as a wrapper for our href tag, this is simply due to Bootstrap's styling. There is no other reason. So if you know a better way how I could do it, just tell me. But I know that this also works. So actually I'm passing a link to the list item and not to the href tag here. So the only thing I have to do is to define the tag that instead of the default tag A, it will be a tag of list item. So that should do the trick. As you can see, it just formatted everything for me, and so it brought this href tag between the router link. So don't get confused. This is just the extension doing its thing. Okay, so now that we have created our menu link, back to our navigation, to our nav.view component, let's import this component here. Menu link from, it is in the same folder, therefore we add a ./menu link. And we have to define our components also. Components. Let me see what I'm doing wrong. Components, right. Okay, so a column here is missing. And menu link. So now I can use it like that. So it's still the edit VS Code shows me an error somewhere there, somewhere here, somewhere at the top. Yeah, so what's going on here? Directly require an attribute value. So router link. Maybe because we didn't pass yet the logged in method, the logged in prop. So to pass it, we go back to our app view component. Now let's import our nav from / now be careful, CMPs, because app.view is outside of the .cmps folder, not .cmps, just it is outside of the cmps folder. So we have our nav.view, correct? Looks fine. And now let's add it also to the components as app nav. We could name it nav or app nav, whatever. Yeah, so here let's add app nav, just nav. So if we save that, we're getting some errors. So let's see why we have these errors. First of all, we have two parentheses in our nav view. Do we need so many parentheses here? No, and this exactly was the issue. So if I scroll down in our terminal, we see that everything is okay. And yeah, one last thing here, inside of the nav component. Let's change this light to dark, and let's go now to our sign-in component to create, actually, at least to display some sort of a name. So let's say h1. What's going on here with auto completion? h1 sign in. Let's go to our sign up, also create a Vue basic template and add a sign up title. Let's go to our admin, again add the default Vue template, and let's say this will be the admin. So for now I think we are good. Okay, we have also our post. Let's add here the default template and say also Vue, not Vue, single post. Okay, perfect. So let's go and check what we have done so far, if anything is working. This is the old one, so let's just refresh. Okay, so we have sign in, sign up, nothing works, of course, because we didn't import any CSS yet. So let's open Google Chrome, say Bootstrap 4, get started. Let's go here to get Bootstrap. No, it was the one above, Introduction to Bootstrap. Yeah, so copy the first CSS link and let's go back to our VueJS project and find the index.html file in your public folder. So here what we will do is we will add this CSS link at the top. Let's change the title right away to let's say CI4 Vue blog, yeah, like that. And here at the bottom, let's add now the files. And don't worry about the compatibility, as long as we are outside of this ID, div ID app, everything should be fine. We don't have any issues either with jQuery or other libraries. So save that. Let's go again and see our application if it's running. Oh, okay. And as you can see right away, everything starts to look nicer. Okay, so one thing we have to add to our navigation component, and this would be a container class that will contain all of the links so that they don't spread all over the screen. So let's say class container, and here at the bottom, just where the nav, before the nav closes, let's add this. Yeah, and the brand name is missing. I don't know why. So we have this brand app view app name. Let me just restart a server, maybe because we added the .env file later. I don't know. No, it still does not. Oh, okay, it's loading, still loading. Yeah, so whenever you make changes to the .env file, you have to restart your server. Now, I think we can move our app tab to the left, close everything else on the right. We might need the GitHub for now, for a bit later, to grab some forms from there. But now also let's add some active classes here. So the The active class goes, is the class, if you're not familiar, is the class that defines, that is being added to the menu link, or rather router link, whenever the route that we have navigated to is the route of that specific link. So by default, I don't remember, but it is some weird class like active-link-route, something like that. But what we want to do is simply define our active class to be active, because this is the class that CodeIgniter, the Bootstrap 4 uses for defining active links. And now we should be better. So if we go to, let me inspect this really quickly. So we have some errors actually here. Unknown custom element router link, of course, rightfully so, we have these errors because we still did not define our router object, our router library inside of, where is the project? Here it is. So inside of our main.js file, it is still as we got it from the npm. So let's say router from, and we get our router.js file that we have created. Routes.js. And now that we have this router is defined but never used, exactly this is what I meant to do next. And we have to add it inside of our new view object. So let's leave this now like that. Okay, we have admin, we have sign in, we have sign up, and everything works just fine. So as you can see, if we click here on the brand, we are getting to the sign in page. Okay, so now we have to create actually our pages. We have to make them functional. So what I mean by functional, let's add the sign-in form and the registration form. Okay, let's wrap this video here. We have our basic routing working, and in the next video we will jump straight to sign up form and then sign in form, and we will finish the next video. We will finish it on the actual user login. So see you in the next tutorial, guys.